Good morning, student. Welcome to the third lecture of unit number 4. In the last lecture, we have discussed about text view, edit text, autocomplete text view, buttons and toggle button. Now in today's lecture, we are going to discuss about radio button, checkboxes and progress bar. So let's start with the radio button. As toggle buttons can be used to display, check or uncheck, that is on or off state on buttons. Likewise, radio button is also a two-state button, which is either check or uncheck. But difference is that if single radio button is unchecked, we can click it to make check radio button. But once radio button is checked, it cannot be marked as unchecked by the user. It means that in toggle button, you can change the state from on or off, that is from check or uncheck. But in radio button, once you mark the check, you cannot change the state of that button. That means you cannot mark that button unchecked. So radio button is generally used with radio group. What is meant by radio group? Radio group contains several radio buttons, but the difference between radio button and radio group is that in radio button, you cannot uncheck the button once you mark it as check, but in radio group, once you click check or once you mark check, it will uncheck all other radio buttons. It means that if previously you mark female button as check and after that you mark male button as check, then it will uncheck female automatically. So this is the difference between radio group and radio button. So let's see how to add radio buttons in Android Studio. In this particular example, we have two text view and four radio buttons. So now we know that how to add text view. Just go to Android Studio, create new project, select empty project activity, name your project, go to layout, just drag and drop text view and open XML file. After opening XML file, XML file shows the coding related to your text view that you have drag and drop in your design. So this is text view. This is unique identity assigned to text view. Text size is 20 dp and the text that we want to display is a single radio button. It means that when you run your output, this single radio button will be displayed as a text view. That is the meaning of text view. So this single radio button will be displayed as a text. Now inside this text view, we have two radio buttons. So the first radio button, this is the unique identity assigned to radio button 1 and the text that we want to display on button is radio button 1. The size of text is 20 dp and we have another radio button. The text of that button is radio button 2. Again the text size is 20 dp. Now these are two simple radio buttons. It means that once you mark check, you cannot mark uncheck these radio buttons because this is the property of radio button. Once you mark check, you cannot uncheck the radio button. So inside the first text view, we have two radio buttons, radio button 1 and radio button 2. After that, in the same example, we have another text view. This is again unique identity assigned to second text view. The text that we want to display in another text view is radio buttons inside radio group. It means that inside this text view, we are going to create radio groups. Now what is radio group? Radio group contains several radio buttons, but difference is that once you mark check, it will uncheck all other radio buttons. So to create radio group, just drag and drop radio group in your design and after opening XML file, you will see such type of coding. This is the radio group. This is unique identity assigned to radio group. Now inside this radio group, we have two radio buttons. First radio button is male. The text size is 20 dp and another radio button is female and the text size is again 20 dp. So now here the Android check property is false. It means that by default your radio buttons will be unchecked. If this property is true, it means that by default your radio buttons will be checked. So now here we have mentioned the property as false. It means that male and female both the radio buttons will be unchecked by default. So in the first text view we have two radio buttons, and inside the radio group, inside another text view we have radio group, and inside this radio group we have two radio buttons, male and female. So after running your mobile application, your Android virtual device going to work and your output will look like this. But before that we have to create one button. The text that we want to show on this button is show selected. This is the ID assigned to that button. And on click event method is implemented on this button. It means that once you click on the show selected button, it will show you how many radio buttons are checked. So this is on click button method. So once running your application, your mobile application will look like this. This is text view 1 and this is text view 2. Inside text view 1 we have two radio buttons, radio button 1, radio button 2. And inside the another text view we have created radio group, and inside this radio group we have again two buttons, male and female, and this is your button on which we have implemented on click method. It means that once you click on show selected, it will show you the selected radio buttons. For example, here you click on radio button 2 and here you click on radio button male. So after clicking on show selected, it will show you the check radio buttons. So that is male, and we have created button only for the second text view, that is for the radio group. We have not created button for the text view 1, and that's why it also show the check radio buttons for second text view only. So this is about the radio button. After that we have checkboxes in our syllabus. So a checkbox is an on or off switch that can be toggled by the user. You should use checkboxes when presenting users with a group of selectable options that are not mutually exclusive. So the checkboxes allow user to select one or more options from a set. Typically, you should present the checkbox option in a vertical list. It means that from this vertical list, you can check checkboxes that you want to select. So the checkbox is a very important component for the UI controller, because these are those toggles or those inputs or those on or off switches which are not interdependent on each other. Not interdependent on each other, it means that in radio group, now here male is checked. Now once you click on female, it will uncheck the male radio button. It means that these two radio buttons are interdependent on each other. But checkboxes are not interdependent on each other. It means that you can select more than one checkboxes without affecting other checkboxes. So these are interdependent on other. Likewise here, these three checkboxes are selected without affecting other checkboxes. So you should use checkboxes when presenting users with a group of selectable options that are mutually exclusive. At that point, we use the checkboxes. Now responding to click events. So when user selects a checkbox, the checkbox object receives an on-click event. Likewise, in radio buttons, we have used on-click method on the button. After clicking on this button, it will show how many radio buttons are checked. That is on-click event. So to define this on-click event, click event handler for checkbox add Android on-click attribute to the checkbox element in your XML layout. Now the value for this attribute must be the name of the method you want to call in response to a click event, and the activity hosting the layout must then implement the corresponding method. So let's see how to add checkbox in Android Studio But before that, let's discuss about the different attributes related to the checkbox control. So first one is the Android auto text. So auto text is used when we want to correct incorrect spellings, or when we want to remove incorrect spellings, or when we want to use spell checks. That time we are going to use auto text property. So if auto text is set, it specifies that this text view has a textual input method and automatically corrects some common spelling errors. Then second property, drawable bottom. It means that this is the drawable to be drawn below the text. It means if you want to draw something, or if you want to write something below the text or at the bottom of the text, that time we are going to use drawable bottom property. Likewise, we have drawable right. It means that if you want to write or draw something to the right of the text, that time we are going to use drawable right. Then Android editable property, if set, specifies that this text view has an input method. And the last property is a simple one, that whatever the text that we want to display that text, we have to use Android text property. So these are the important attributes related to the checkbox control. Now, to implement the checkbox in this example, we have one text view and 4 checkboxes along with one button. So this is the text view. This is unique identity assigned to that text view. Now the text that we want to display inside this text view is choose your hobbies. So this is the text that we want to display in text view. After that, we have to create 4 checkboxes. Now always remember that checkbox is always be enclosed in a layout. You cannot define checkboxes directly. So this is the ID. This is the text that we are having on the checkbox, that is painting. So the name of first checkbox is painting. After that, we have another checkbox. Again, unique ID is assigned to this checkbox, and the text that we want to display on this checkbox is reading. We have checkbox 3. This is unique identity assigned to this checkbox, and the text that we want to display on this checkbox is singing. And after that, the checkbox number 4, again unique identification given to checkbox, and the text that we want to display is cooking. Now here we have not used check property. Check property means, like in radio button, we have used Android check property. Android check, it is equals to false. It means that your radio button is unchecked. So here in checkboxes, here we have not used Android check property. It means that your all checkboxes will be checked by default. If we have not used the Android check property, that time your all checkboxes are by default checked. And after that, at the last, we have one button, ID given to the button, because without ID we cannot run any attribute, any component in Android Studio. And the text that we want to display on this button is submit. And here we have used on click event method, and the value parameter as passed to this on click method is check. It means that once you click on the submit button, it will check how many check boxes you have checked. But as here we have not used check property, your all check boxes will be checked by default. So once you click on the submit button, it will show you the list that you have checked. So run your Android virtual device and your output will be look like this. So this is the text that we have written in text box, choose your hobbies. And this is your 4 check boxes, painting, reading, singing, and cooking. By default, these all check boxes are checked. And once you click on the submit button, it will show you the list that is checked. So painting, reading, singing, and cooking are selected. So this is about the on-click method and check boxes. After that, we have one more important topic, that is progress bar. So if you are downloading something, then you see progress bar. like this. This shows how much progress has been done based on the download and what are the download has been done. So the progress bar is used to show the progress of a task. So it can be downloading something from internet or uploading, or if you are opening some files, then it show a progress bar. So in Android, there is a class called progress dialog that allows you to create progress bar. And in order to do this, you need to instantiate an object of this class. So this is the progress dialog and this is new object that you have to instantiate to create a progress bar. And now you can set some properties of this dialog such as its style, its text, etc. So progress.set message, the message that you want to show while downloading or while processing your progress bar, you can pass it here like this. For example, downloading music, progress.set progress style. So here style underscore horizontal, it means that we want our progress bar must be in horizontal nature, and progress.center set indeterminate is true. We will see this portion in coding. Now let's see some important attributes related to the progress bar. First one is getMax method. This method returns the maximum value of the progress. For example, your progress is 70%, 80% or 90% like this. Then increment progress by. This method increments progress bar by the difference of value passed as a parameter. We will see how to pass the difference of value as a parameter in the coding portion. Set interdeterminate. This method sets the progress indicator as determinate or interdeterminate. Set max. This method sets the maximum value of the progress dialog. By default, the maximum value of the progress dialog is 100%. Then set progress. This method is used to update the progress dialog with some specific value, and your progress dialog is updated with the difference of value passed as a parameter in increment progress attribute. And the last one is show method. This is a static method which is used to display progress dialog. So to add progress dialog in your layout, just drag and drop progress bar from layout. Assign unique ID to your progress bar. Set height and width of progress bar. And here Android interdeterminate is set as a false, and Android progress initial value of the progress is set as 0, as here we have method that the maximum value of the progress dialog is always 100%. Likewise, we have to set the minimum value of the progress dialog which is set to 0. Then we have one text view. Unique ID is assigned to that text view. And after that, we have one button. The text that we want to display on the button is start progress, and this is unique identification assigned to this button. Now open your main activity.java file and now see how we can start and how we can work on progress bar. On click of the button, we are starting download function. So as click on the button, we are starting download function. And if we are already having progress bar dialog, we have named this dialog as progress and make the new object of the progress bar. So this is the instantiation of new object of the progress bar. So we set the message, what message we want to show, like we want to show the message as downloading music. After this, we want style. So we want this progress bar is horizontal in nature. That's why style underscore horizontal method is used. Then interdeterminate position is set as true. The current progress we set as 0. After this, we click on show. Show help us to understand and to launch proper progress bar onto the UI or onto the layout. So now we have done as here we are running a thread which will continue to run on its own, and it will increase the progress bar one by one. So we have taken one new thread. In that thread, we have implemented the run method. In that thread, we have implemented run method. The jump time is initially set to 0. And here we have mentioned that till the jump time is less than total progress time. Total progress time is 100. 100 is a constant value which is assigned to total progress time. So total progress time is 100 that we have taken over here. So till the jump time is less than total progress time. Every time we come here, we have increased the jump time by 5. This is the difference passed as a parameter. So every time we come here, it will increase jump time by 5, and we are setting the jump time in our progress bar. With this, we are able to increase our progress bar by 5. So after time, it comes into the thread and it runs. This has happened at 200 milliseconds because sleeping time is set as a 200 milliseconds. So after every 200 milliseconds, jump time will be increased by the difference of 5, and jump time calling set and it increased by 5. So when we start the thread started its execution and progress is getting incremented one by one continuously. So this is how the progress bar works in mobile application development. So once you click on run, your progress bar will look like this. So after clicking this button, that is download file, your progress bar starts working. Initially it is 0 and the maximum value set as 100%, and the difference, the jump time will be increased is 5. It means that your progress bar will show difference as 40%, 45%, 50%, 55%, like this. So now in today's lecture, we discuss about the radio button, radio groups, checkboxes, and progress bar.